Welcome to Graybo's Giblets. We are Gray Burnett, Ryan Fitz, and Duke Dotson. We own a sports card shop called Graybo Sports Cards and a sports bar called Parlay in Richmond, Virginia. We know you don't have 40 hours per week to pour over podcasts and spreadsheets, but you want to get into the action. So we do the work for you. We bring you 30-minute giblets each week so you can feel good heading up to the window and into the weekend. We are the crossroads of sports lovers, fantasy heads, sports betting, and sports cards. We're out here dropping giblets for the people. Denny, one time, is on the pod with me talking Sweet 16 in college basketball. Denny, have you survived the weekend? How do you feel?
I had a great week. I put my body to the test Thursday and Friday. I was at Parlay probably a total of 20 hours those 2 days. Rested up Saturday and Sunday on my couch and watched the games, but from a basketball perspective, it wasn't the most magical first two rounds, but just having Parlay being part of that vibe was pretty sweet the first 2 days.
Yeah, we'll get into talking about how maybe NIL has killed the Cinderella stories in mid-majors here in a second. I'm kind of with you. Thursday, it's kind of a blur for me at Parlay. Good times. I don't remember being in a Gonzaga jersey, Gonzaga winning. I remember VCU getting pretty much controlled from the jump. And then I went home, and Friday I was drinking water. Came back and drank water all day. Saturday I had to spend time with the family, but I was able to at least watch the game Saturday and Sunday while watching the kids. It's college basketball. I love it. I'm going to watch this tournament from every year until they don't have it anymore, which won't be the case. I'll be dead. But kind of chalky, and even like the games where the favorites are winning, they're winning by 30 points. Not one 13 seed, 14, 15, or 16 seed won. You had two 12s win, but one of the 12s was a favorite. Clemson only scored 13 points in half. They broke a record. So the games weren't crazy, but what stood out to you to recap the first and second round? I mean, there were some good ones. There's some stars rising. There's some teams that are gone that are a little surprising, but what stood out to you the most those first two rounds?
So in the round one, biggest disappointments for me were VCU and UC San Diego. BYU, just as you mentioned, throttled VCU. BYU looked pretty good the next round. They beat a very good team in the next round as well. So really no shame. VCU had a great season. We were all on UC San Diego along with the rest of America. They actually made it a close game, but didn't get it done. As you mentioned, very chalky. St. John's was the only of the 1 and 2 seeds that did not get through, so 7 of the 8 still alive. I was fine with St. John's losing. That's the only place I really got different was I had Texas Tech over St. John's. I was fine with them losing. I thought Duke looked great. Flag looked healthy. Team looks strong. Very impressed with Clayton for Florida. Not just what he did, but when he did it down the stretch. Complete composure. Wanted the ball in his hand. Got good shots. Hit the good shots. He's a killer. He's a stone cold killer. And then Sunday night, Caleb Love was freaking awesome. I know he's very streaky. So just because he played that way Sunday doesn't mean he's going to do that against Duke. But if he does that against Duke, some people think he can get in trouble. But highlight of the week one for me was the shot by Derek Queen for Maryland. To see a big man take the ball off the top of the key with 3 seconds left, man, he caught that ball in a hurry to get downhill, hit a very, very difficult shot, and he did it with composure. Never looked ruffled. I mean, that dude's a killer as well. What a strange collection of skills that guy has, man. His height, he looks kind of like a center. Handles the ball, can get to the hole and shoot. Really nice hands, like a guard. I mean, as you and I mentioned to each other, there's time for him to play defense. But the kid's 18 years old, hit that shot at that moment. It was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, he's a big boy, and then when he talks, he's like, oh, yeah, he's just a kid. He's a child.
Yeah.
He's a child. How much of that story do you believe the coach went in the huddle and was like, who wants the ball? And he said, give me the MF ball.
I hope that's true.
I hope that's true, too.
That's an interesting tactic for him to do to see who wants it and to see if your star steps up. And he's a star, but like you said, he's 18. He's got some kids on that team that are 23 years old. So.
It was actually a very well-drawn play. The screen down to get him up top of the key to go one-on-one and spread it out.
They got to play good defense.
Good defense because the look. I mean, that's one of the toughest shots in college basketball. So I feel for Colorado State. If you're looking at Colorado State, they probably deserved to win that game. DK Clifford was awesome. Will be a first rounder, but Queen is a lottery pick. And in Maryland, the Crab Five move on. For me, yeah, Chalk City, like I said, but Maryland, Colorado State was the best game. UConn and Florida. Sunday was fun. Sunday was probably the best day of the first two rounds. I mean, I got to give it to Hurley. He's a hell of a coach. He had them guys prepared, ready to go. Probably should have won if they don't shoot 20% from three. BYU is my team. I think is probably the hottest team rolling in here to the Sweet 16 as a 6 seed against Bama next. My disappointments are pretty much all my teams that I thought would make a deep run. Iowa State, unfortunately, Gilbert gets hurt, but they just laid an egg against Ole Miss. They looked awful, turning the ball over. They don't do that, letting up easy baskets to the rim. They don't do that. I don't know what was up with them. Yeah, go ahead.
But we were talking how Monday is like the worst day of the year. Just complete letdown of dopamine on Monday. But the highlight of my Monday was, on Sunday we thought all the pools were in, survivor pools and whatnot. We thought we needed Iowa State, and then I get to my brackets, all my regular brackets. I picked Ole Miss and all of them.
Wow!
Iowa State. I'd forgotten that I'd done that.
That's a great pick.
Yeah, we'll take
I think I had them in one of three, just because of the Gilbert news. But really shocked with Illinois. Man, they looked awful. And that's what they did. They're either like one of the top 5 teams. They played like one of the top 5 teams, or they played like absolute crap, and they were awful. St. Mary's, their great 3-point shooting team, didn't have 1 3 against Bama's defense until 4 minutes left in the second half. And then UC San Diego lose by 3 to Michigan, and they were down 41-27.5. So they brought it back, had a chance to maybe tie it up, couldn't do it. I will say St. John's going down. I'm with you. I have Texas Tech moving on there. So excited to see that for bracket reasons. But Michigan and Alabama are still there. 2 teams that I just don't understand. But good for them. Michigan's playing well. I got to give it to them. I mean, Trey Donaldson in that layup, just clutch. I don't know how he made it. Roddy Gale hits 5 threes. You'll never see that again. He hit 5 threes to move on from A&M. Texas A&M was up 10 twice in that game, and Michigan comes back to beat them. So some of my teams disappointing, but we still got some big futures that are still alive. Thank God for Walter Clayton. Anyone know where he transferred from?
I learned this. It was a smaller school.
Patino was his coach
at Iona.
And that gets me into the next thing: is NIL killing these mid-majors, these Cinderella stories? You look at, if we didn't have like this transfer portal, look at the first team All-Americans. Clayton would be at Iona. Well, maybe not anymore, but you have to sit out a year. Remember, like those rules. So people, have to think about that. Do I want to sit out a year, or do I just want to keep playing for mid-majors? Broome, who's the best player in Auburn, was at Morehead State. Like, it's unbelievable how good some of these players are that, can move anywhere now. Now these mid-majors don't have any money. The big schools are going to be paying millions of dollars for these good players. Look at BYU. They're playing the NIL deal. They got the number 1 player coming in next year. They were able to get Igor Dimon, who's a lottery pick this year, and BYU's in the Sweet 16. So thoughts on that, Denny? What do we have to do here to keep this mid-major Cinderella stories from moving on? Before you answer that, I don't agree with Stephen A. Smith that says college basketball is dead. I'll never agree with that, for the record.
Yeah, I would say NIL has more positives than, say, the one-and-done era, because these guys can stay longer. Even if they change schools, they get paid, they stay longer, and I think you get more good players in the game. When, like, Calipari at Kentucky was getting one-and-dones, and everybody thought that's what you had to do to compete. I think that's the positive. Remember 20 years ago, the mid-majors were more separated from the big guys. And then there was a stretch where there was less of a gap, and that's when you got more of your 12 13 seed, 14 seed upsets. I don't know. I would say it's a necessary evil. I think you got to pay these guys, and so they're going to go to the money. The mid majors like VCU, for example, is going to have to do a better job of raising money and paying these guys to keep them there.
Which they are as of next year, right? VCU will be paying their players. Ryan Odom, Virginia. Let's go. That's for another pod, though. A lot of coaches moving. Colorado State coaches out. I believe he went to Minnesota. Will Wade goes to NC State from McNeese. And there was one more big move. Drake coach is now at Iowa. So he's gone from a D2 powerhouse 1 year at Drake, took 4 of his Division II players. So it still can be done because Drake took 4 Division II players, won their championship, and then beat number 6 Missouri. So there is still hope there.
And Wade is taking Amir Khan.
Amir Khan. So is Amir Khan a student? Or is he was that his job? He was just a manager, a hype man.
I assume he's a student or a grad, could be a grad assistant, or not a grad assistant, but I think he's a student. But he has his own Top Now card.
Yeah, he has all these deals now. He's making 6 figures now.
Good for
him.
So
I don't even think he's like, I don't even need school anymore.
It's American dream.
So I'll just go to NC State. He has I believe it started with 1 NIL deal, and after the win over Clemson, it is now up to 8, I believe. So good for him. And I send those videos to you all the
time. You do.
All right, let's get into the Sweet 16. Before we do that, I got a question for you about the Sweet 16. There is one school that has made the college football playoffs, the College World Series, and the Sweet 16.
This year or total?
This year.
This year.
Who is it?
All right, let's see. Auburn, no.
One school,
Michigan,
College
no.
World Series, college football,
no.
16.
Michigan State, no. Florida, no. Maryland, no. Texas, back.
If you go through it, I think you can figure it out.
Dude, definitely not. Arizona, no. BYU. Bama, didn't make it.
I mean, you named every school. Tennessee.
Okay.
Tennessee is.
16
Yeah, are they? Tennessee has made the College World Series, college playoff, and the Sweet 16. That is the question. Now, here is a crazy question going with NIL and transfers. There is only one school in the Sweet 16 where all starting 5 players have started at the school they're playing at currently.
Okay.
What basketball team is
All right.
it?
It's not Duke. It's not Arizona. I don't know if about BYU's guys, but I doubt it.
I'll give you a hint. Don B is obsessed with this coach, and this is probably the reason that because he can recruit and keep his players and build a culture.
Yeah, you said Broom transfer, so it's not him. Chris Beard is who does Don B love? He doesn't love Calipari. He might love Izzo. Does he like Kelvin Sampson? I'm trying to think. I think he likes.
Not a big Sampson guy,
right?
You know,
he thinks he cheated.
Yeah, he thinks he cheated. So anytime you get a violation,
is it Purdue?
Purdue. Matt Painter and Purdue, all 5 of the starters have started there or recruited by Painter. If you look at this list, it is unbelievable. I get Duke has 4 of the 5 because they're all freshmen. But there is one team in there I think it's all different. It's crazy. So just going through it, that just tells you what the portal is doing. And Purdue is doing it right, according to Don B, huh?
By all means, keep Don B happy.
All right, let's get into Thursday. First of all, I just want to talk about how the NCAA in these times are absolutely outrageous. Starting 2 games at 7:30 or whatever, and then the other games at 7:45, and then you have 10 o'clock games is absolutely ridiculous. Spread them out. It's outrageous, Denny. It's outrageous.
It is.
Who is going to come to a bar at Parlay and watch a 10:30 game on a Thursday night?
Probably not me.
Not me. But we have college basketball. Let's get into it. The highest seed to make the Sweet 16 is number 10, Arkansas. Would you consider them a Cinderella team?
I would say no, just because of the coach, and then they're better because two of their guys were hurt. We just got back, and so no preseason. They're fully healthy. I don't think they're Cinderella.
Yeah, Boogie Flan is back, coming off the bench. They have good chemistry with their starters, and they have McDonald's All-Americans. Like, it's not like they're mid-major team and didn't recruit 5-star players. Their best player and leading scorer, Thero, that was brought over by Kentucky, is out for the tournament, and they're still winning without him. I got to give them props. And I will say, the matchup with St. John's was a perfect matchup for them, just bad shooting teams. I think Texas Tech is going to give them problems, but we'll talk about that here. The first game, number 6 BYU versus number 2 Bama. Bama is -4.5. So we'll start there. Go ahead and do you have a pick to win, and are you betting this spread at all?
BYU's impressed me probably the most. Probably learned more about them than anybody in the tournament so far of these 16 teams. You and I have talked about how Bama any given day can lose despite their talent because of the lack of defense. And so I'm leaning dog here. I'm probably going to bet BYU. And if I'm trying to get different in pools at this point, pools where you're still picking, I'm looking at this 2-6 seeds as possible opportunities here, Ole Miss and BYU.
Yeah, I like it. I'm with you. I'm in a Survivor League where I've already used up my insurance, so I can't lose again. And this year, there's so many people that made it through the first 2 rounds because it's so chalky with their insurance. I'm going to go BYU and get different and hopefully knock out some people and get up on the get some leverage on the field. But I will take BYU in the points because not only can BYU score, they run the same pace as Bama. This game's over is 172. So I think it's like the second highest in NCAA history. So Bama can outshoot them. BYU can outshoot Bama. Bama, I think, has to make about maybe 10. If they make 10 threes, it's over for BYU. They're just more talented. But I think BYU can control the offensive glass, control the defensive glass. Bama was able to absolutely destroy St. Mary's down the floor. I mean, they were just dunking all over them, and they controlled the pace. But BYU and Bama kind of have the same pace. So I'm going to take BYU with the points, +4.5, and I'm going to money line them to take Alabama out. I've been kind of harsh on Alabama all year. Hopefully this is the time we get them out of here and BYU continues this great run because I think they have the players to do it. They have the athletes to do it. I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to be a fun one to get started. So let's go with BYU there. The second, number 4 Maryland versus number 1 Florida. You have a deep team in Florida, -6.5 versus the Crab 5 Maryland. Maryland does not have a bench. Their 6-man plays about 6 to 7 minutes. So, going from there, who do you have, Maryland or the Gators?
I think I'm going to be on the opposite side of you on this one. I like Florida. I think the depth will matter. I think Florida having a tough win over Danny Hurley, the returning champs. I think we'll give them a little bit of confidence. Probably shook them up enough, scared them enough, but probably relieved to get past UConn. So I'm taking the favorite here, Florida.
Yeah, so here's why I am betting Maryland. I have a ticket on Florida, so I want to hit the middle. I'm going to bet Maryland +6.5. If Florida loses, at least I make some money. If I hit the middle and Florida wins by 3, 4, 5, we're both really happy. If you don't have a ticket on Florida, I would not bet this game. I would actually lean Florida. So I'm picking Florida to beat Maryland. The only reason I'm taking Maryland in the points is because I have a huge ticket on Florida, 45-1, who really scared me against UConn. And Fitz was texting and pissing me off, so I had to throw some jabs at him. So going Florida here, and I actually would lean Florida in the spread, but for my own personal reasons, I am going to say on this pod, I am taking Maryland in the points to try to hit the middle here. I want Florida to win, obviously. The next big one, Caleb Love, what a game he had on Sunday night. 29 points. Killed our DraftKings lineups because we didn't have any of him because he's the streakiest shooter and scorer in America. He can absolutely win you games, but he can absolutely shoot you out of games. But the last 2 times Duke has been eliminated in the ACC tournament and in the NCAA tournament, Caleb Love has put them away. So number 4, Arizona versus number 1, Duke. Duke is -9.5. They've been juggernauts. Does Tyrese Proctor keep shooting like this? Then it's game over. Cooper Flagg has looked great, has looked healthy. Every guy on Duke, even their bench players, have been getting good minutes and putting up work. They absolutely destroyed Baylor in the second half. And I feel for Jeremy Roach, who Shire was comforting him, crying because he's like, I left a national championship team. So give me your take on Arizona versus Duke here.
I think I'm going to keep riding Duke. I'm going to ride that horse until it bucks me. There's scenarios where Arizona can win this game. There's scenarios where Caleb Love goes nuts. I think he's probably more likely to go nuts than Proctor to stay hot, but he could flop as well. I just think Duke's too good across the board, position by position. Again, until they let me down, I'm going to probably keep betting them to cover until they probably meet like the 1 seeds in the Final Four, and then I'll reconsider.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you there. I'm riding Duke -9.5. It's the one team that I didn't get a ticket early enough that they're going to screw me. I just know it. I have covered everything else except Duke, and they're the best team in this tournament. They've looked the best. Shire has been great coaching them. They play defense. They're scoring at will. I think Duke covers this against Arizona and moves on pretty easily, I think, to the Elite Eight. The next one, the highest seed that's left, number 10, Arkansas, goes to number 3, Texas Tech. Texas Tech's -5.5. The big thing to look for is, will Chance McMillan be healthy to play for Texas Tech? That would be huge for the Red Raiders. St. John's is gone. And so you look at Texas Tech's path, right? UNC Wilmington, Drake, and now Arkansas. You can say it's been a little bit easier for Texas Tech, but they will have to face a tough Maryland or Florida team in the next round. What are we feeling here, Duke?
I like these 2 teams. To me, this is probably a no bet. If you made me lean, I would probably lean with the dog and take the points. I think it'd be a pretty good game. But I see Texas Tech pulling it out and advancing. So to me, it's probably a pass.
Yeah, I'm going to take Texas Tech to advance, but I'm going to bet Arkansas with points. I think they have the athletes to hang with Texas Tech. They'll be able to keep Texas Tech off the glass, which Texas Tech is very good at. Will Arkansas be able to shoot? If they can't make buckets, obviously they're going to be in trouble against a Texas Tech team that can shoot some threes. So we'll take Texas Tech to advance. But let's take Arkansas with the points. They have something. They found something in this tournament. I feel like it's a lot of points. I think it's actually going to be a closer game than you think. Do you have a Texas Tech Final Four ticket?
I do.
I do as well. So also I'm trying to hit the middle again. Just a fun game to play. So to recap, Denny and I both have Florida, Duke, Texas Tech. And are you taking BYU to win? Sure.
Give me the Cougs.
So we're going 4 for 4, Denny. We're taking BYU, Florida, Duke, and Texas Tech all to win. We are both betting BYU at the 4.5 number. I'm also taking BYU money line. And then I'm taking Maryland and Arkansas with the points, and then Duke -9.5. And I believe you're just taking Duke -9.5 and staying away from the other 2. Or are you taking Florida?
I'm taking BYU, Florida, and Duke, and passing on the last one.
Okay, passing on the last one. So you did say Florida. All right, let's move into Friday, where maybe the most surprising team. I mean, they're still SEC and good, but number 6, Ole Miss, and that Virginia Tech transfer, Mr. Headband Padula, had his whole family wearing headbands. It was awesome, and they were going nuts against Iowa State. Now they get number 2 Michigan State, a very beatable Michigan State team. Michigan State was on. New Mexico had them. New Mexico is just, again, what Michigan State can do is they have 10 guys that are good, and they will wear you down. And New Mexico just does not have the depth, and they got into foul trouble. Michigan State hit some big threes down the stretch. And Michigan State, 2.5-point favorites. What are we thinking here, Denny? This is a big one. This is a big game.
Yeah, I like I said at the beginning, I like the 2-6 seed. Ole Miss. So this is just a look at the teams left. Look at the coaches of these teams. It's the best coaches in America, right? You had Self lost, Tino lost, but
Tony Bennett retired.
Yeah, exactly. Just a reminder to in March bet on coaches a lot of the time. Maybe look at this 8-9 matchups. Gonzaga won their first round matchup.
Creighton
and gave Houston trouble. Creighton won and played well in round 2. Chris Beard's a dog. Put him in charge of any program, he's going to win. And so, Padula, I'm sorry he left Virginia Tech, but man, I'm happy for him. He is. I love watching that kid play. Very fun to watch. So I think I'm taking Ole Miss to cover, Ole Miss to win here.
Ooh, I like it.
Izzo's great, but I just don't think he has the squad that he normally does, and he almost got tripped up over the weekend. And I think it's coming. I think Ole Miss gets it done.
Okay, I like it. This is a stay away game for me, spread wise. Denny has Ole Miss, so maybe I'll hop on with him. I wanted to hear his lean, but as of right now, I do not have a bet for this game. If I'm going to pick it, I'm still going to stay with the pick I originally had, Michigan State to meet Auburn in the Elite Eight. I mean, 2.5 points is nothing. Ole Miss can definitely trip them up. They've been playing well, very well. The one thing with Ole Miss that scares me is how Carolina went on that run. So Michigan State is not going to get down by that much that UNC did. So if Ole Miss it's a game of runs. If Ole Miss can limit those kind of runs, they have the athletes to compete with Michigan State. Let's move on to a game that everyone is waiting for. One thing about, the first 2 rounds being chalky is the Sweet 16 is going to be freaking awesome. And this one is going to be freaking awesome. Number 3, Kentucky versus number 2, Tennessee. Kentucky, who has beat Tennessee twice in the regular season, is getting points. Tennessee's -4.5. Looks like the books think Tennessee is a new team. They made it to the SEC championship against Florida and lost. Tennessee has looked really good. I mean, they dominated UCLA in the second round. But will Tennessee be able to score? Kentucky can score. It's really one of the best offenses in the country versus one of the best defenses in the country. Kentucky's defense, Tennessee's offense, So, Denny, where are you going?
This is the game that perplexes me the most. Knowing that Kentucky beat them twice, knowing that Kentucky played well the first 2 rounds, they seem to be clicking. But I do like Tennessee. I think it's a no bet for me, but I am picking the winner. I will go with the favorite, Tennessee.
Yeah, I am also skipping this one as a bet. God, man, do I Kentucky just beating them twice and getting points would probably be my lean, but it's hard to beat a 3 times. I know Stuckey hates that, but I think Tennessee gets them the 3rd time and moves on. Ziegler, he wants to go back to that Final Four, man. He's a dog on defense. He'll have that team ready. I know Barnes, you think coaches, right? Barnes is not very good in the tourney, but either is Pope. So let's see how that one turns out. That one's probably going to be my favorite one to watch. I'm looking at all the games. That's my number 1.
I'm calling my shot now. Friday night, I'm coming to parlay. Y'all in Friday night?
Friday night?
Thursday, I got to be home. Friday night, I'm here.
All right. Maybe I join you.
Okay.
And the next one, please, for the love of God, can someone knock out Michigan? Number 5, Michigan versus number 1, Auburn. Auburn's -7.5. Auburn got tested in the second round. There is some rumblings that the locker room is not great. But again, it's freaking Michigan, dude. They turned the ball over. What is going on? How are they winning these games? I got to hand it to them. They're playing well. They're making shots. Guys that can't hit threes are hitting threes. Vlad Golden has been unbelievable. Danny Wolf has been unbelievable. He's not throwing the ball across the court and turning it over. What is going on? Do you have Michigan in the upset here?
I do not. Going back to coaches, Dusty May is a great coach in March. It wasn't a fluke what he did at FAU, and he's doing it here. He did it in the conference tournament. He's doing it in the NCAA tournament. So I have two big Auburn futures, and I keep thinking about when am I going to cash one of them out. I think barring an injury, I think Duke's going to win this whole thing. But I'm letting my futures ride here. I'm actually probably taking Auburn -7.5.
So you don't like hitting the middle with me?
I'll be happy for you if you do.
Okay. I do think Auburn is moving on. My second biggest ticket preseason was Auburn National Championship. So hopefully Auburn and Florida can get to the Final Four, and then I can start thinking. But Michigan 7.5 points. That is a lot of points for a team that has been playing very well. And Auburn turns it on somehow in the last 5 minutes. I think this is going to be kind of like that. A good game up until the last 5 minutes. Auburn wins by 7. So I get that hook.
7.6.
7.6. If you have not watched Auburn's freshman guard, he's not getting the credit that he deserves with like Queen in this tournament and Flag in this tournament. But Pettiford, who is the sixth man, who could start anywhere in the country, comes off the bench for Auburn, and he is a difference maker for the Tigers. And I think he's going to be the difference here against Michigan. I mean, the dude does not – he just hits big threes every time I watch the game. All right, and the last one, Matt Painter and the boys are back. Number 4, Purdue in Indianapolis versus Houston, number 1 seed, but Houston -8.5. I just think Houston's too much for Purdue. Purdue's got 2 players, right? Braden Smith and the Wren kid who's had a great year. But Purdue's going to have to hit a lot of shots against this defense, and I don't think it's going to happen. I haven't bet it because I do think 8.5 is a lot of points, but maybe Duke, you can
put your yes.
Yeah,
give me Houston laying the points. I agree. Purdue's had a good run. Painter's getting the most out of them, but Houston's got too many horses. So I'm laying the points there.
All right, and that sold me. Too many horses. All right, so to recap, Denny's on Duke, BYU. He's on Houston. Did you get 7.5? Nice. I had him at 8.5, so take that. Ole Miss at +2.5, and thinking about Florida at -6.5. I'm going BYU with the points and money line. Let's do both. Maryland and Michigan, just because I have 2 big futures on Florida and Auburn, so let's hit the middle. We'll take Duke -9.5, and we'll take Arkansas +5.5. And I'll probably hop on Houston with you. I do think they're going to be way too much for Purdue. So let's get into the final couple things here. We have our Final Four national championship picks, just to recap to see who's still there. I have all of mine left. Auburn, Texas Tech, Duke, and Tennessee. And I feel pretty good about that right now. And Auburn over Duke. Might flip-flop it if I had to, just watching the first 2 rounds. But I wanted to get different. If Auburn wins, you can win a lot of brackets, right? If Duke wins, you could have some of the best brackets this year, but everyone does. And so you are rooting for Duke to lose if you don't have Duke. That is for sure.
In most bracket pools, you're happy to get 4 or 5 in the final 8, maybe 2 of the final 4. I think this year you're going to have a lot of people with 7 out of 8, 3 out of 4, maybe 4 out of 4.
You want chaos. You want chaos in the Sweet 16 for sure. Duke has the same Final Four except Houston in there. So all 4 of yours are good, and you have Duke over Auburn sitting pretty.
Yeah, I'd like to say that I'm not knocking Florida. Neither one of us put Florida in there. Really, had to gun to my head, I'll probably put all 4 1 seeds in there. But
Yeah.
my only attempt to get different is Texas Tech over Florida. I just think back to coaches again. Florida's coach is the most unproven of the top, the 1 and 2 seeds in March, and I think it's going to matter at some point. They could still get to the championship game. They could win it still, but that's my only kind of inkling of a narrative there is this unproven head coach in these moments.
I'll say they might be the deepest team, like bench wise. Fitz, what were your comments on the Florida coach? No comment. Okay, we'll move on from that. Just in case if he was listening. All right. So I've kind of gone through what I have left preseason. I had Iowa State ticket 22-1 buy, Baylor 30-1 buy, Illinois to make the Final Four 13-1 buy, A&M 12-1 to make the Final Four buy, Clemson 16-1 to make the Final Four buy. This is what I have left. I have Florida 45-1 national championship, Auburn 28-1 national championship, Houston 16-1 national championship. So Duke is going to ruin everything. Maryland Final Four 16-1, Texas Tech 6-1. It just happened that Florida, Maryland, Texas Tech had to be in the same region. Hopefully, we'll see how that works out. Maybe I can strategize. We'll have a strategy meeting, Denny, to make me some money on how we can cash out tickets or something. Last segment, players to watch. We are a card shop. It is after the tournament. You get into NBA draft. And I think last draft class really struggled to move the NBA market in the card world. This class is going to be different. Obviously, you have Cooper Flag, who might pull some Wemby numbers. I don't think he'll quite get there like the Wemby market, but Flag will make the market better. So let's talk about some other players you have seen in this tournament, Denny, that might move the needle in the NBA market.
Yeah, I think Flag will be like Wemby light in the card market. Yeah, I think the last 20 years it's going to be LeBron, Wemby, and then Flag. I would argue be the third most touted first round, number 1 pick. So when he comes out, I'm looking at the Clayton kid really got my attention this weekend with how he played down the stretch, and he's just getting a lot of comments how he moves like an NBA player and all that. So I'm watching him. The Queen kid from Maryland. We talked about it this morning. Just a unique set of skills you just don't see. Somebody like Karl Anthony Towns has a really unique set of skills, right? And I'm not saying he's the same player, but you just don't see people like this Queen kid. He when he gets a rebound, he just holds it up because he's taller than everybody. Yet he's still the guy you give him the ball at the top of the key and he creates his own shot.
Yep.
It's just a unique skill set. And I think Toppin for Texas Tech is a bad man.
Yeah, I have all the same ones you do. Obviously, Clayton is so smooth. Watch that guy play. When his shot goes up, he's like, that's going in. It doesn't even hit the rim. It's just doesn't even hit the net. It's so smooth. He was having a bad game, unlike St. John's where Patino pulled his best player for moping. Clayton is a leader, stuck with his team, and got it delivered. Flag, obviously, I'm with you on there. Queen is going to be my favorite to look forward to and to invest in. I think he is going to be a big card on the market, especially with that buzzer beater. Everyone knows his name now. And then JT Toppin. Another transfer from?
JT Toppin. I remember him playing somewhere. Where'd he come from?
New Mexico.
Oh, wow.
If New Mexico had him against Michigan State, it would have been over. So I think Toppin has NBA skill set. He was brought over to Texas Tech. He was the Big 12 Player of the Year. And what's crazy about this is Toppin was not even in the top 40 for transfers. So Texas Tech got a steal there. Obviously, he's a top 5 transfer. And then the kid from Wisconsin, Tanjay, I just have to shout this out, was unranked in the transfer portal. He's an All-American.
I have a trivia question for you.
You
left out 2 letters in Edgecombe's name.
Yeah.
What letters did you leave out?
E and E.
There you go, both E's.
E, Edge, come. And I was just shouting. One of my biggest tickets was Baylor moneyline versus Mississippi State. That was a fun game to start Friday, and I was just shouting his name. Edgecombe.
Yeah, you did.
I think he's a top 5 pick. I know he got knocked out by Duke. Very good shooter. Can do it all. Just an athlete that I think will be my third favorite. It's Flag, Queen, Edgecombe are going to be the top 3, I think, in the NBA market. And then I look forward to JT Toppin where he goes as well. I don't know what Clayton is going to be in the NBA, but you seem to like it.
I think he could rise to be like a D Book or Jamal Murray type.
Okay.
Eventually.
I like it because I like him. I like him a lot. He's a good kid.
But 2 things. Number 1, Gray rocked an all Gonzaga jersey here at Parlay on Thursday. And, I'll make sure that picture circulates through social media.
And it did wonders because they were up 23-2 and absolutely waxed Georgia. Fought so hard against Houston, man. So got to give up to Gonzaga. They shouldn't have been an 8 seed, more like a 7 or a 6, but it is what it is. I think that's going to do it for the Sweet 16. Good luck with everyone's bets. Very excited for Thursday and Friday. NCAA changed the times.
Please listen to change the times for Thursday and Friday. Also, the first Saturday and Sunday, stop doing the 1 game, 3-game thing.
Yeah.
Overlap them all day like you do Thursday and Friday. It's so dumb.
It's
so dumb. You sit there all day, especially if that first game's a blowout. You're sitting there watching a blowout with nothing else on.
Yep. I'm with you.
It's torture.
I'm with you. We out.
Giblets.
Love clapping.